Interesting windows. An unsung hero in our everyday lives, the humble window and its evolution from a mere hole in the wall to the many splendid varieties there are today is much more interesting than may first seem. And in Llansteffan there are many examples of fascinating fenestrations. Originally, windows were merely means of allowing light into a building, but other benefits include increased ventilation and providing a view. Having a good view wasn't always just a luxury to increase property value. Naturally, in the case of the castle, lookouts would want good views to see oncoming enemies. Furthermore, in its day as a military stronghold, the windows of the castle would need to be as ergonomic as possible, wide on the inside, narrow on the outside, both maximising the range of the marksman within the walls and minimising the range of the one outside trying to shoot in. Though when the castle became militarily obsolete and purely a residential building, the windows could be widened. At some point, windows evolved a new usage. Shopkeepers and merchants could use nice big windows to advertise their wares and inveigle customers inside, such as at this beautifully preserved shopfront, at one time a chemist's, and later on a sweet shop. There are some properties in Llansteffan with boarded up windows. The window tax was introduced in 1696 as an alternative to the unpopular proposal of income tax. To avoid paying more tax, many homeowners removed and bricked up their windows in their houses. The law was repealed in 1851. One factor was the major concerns about health and safety, as a lot of poorer families living in rented accommodation suffered health problems due to poor ventilation after their landlords removed their windows to avoid the tax. A further use for windows is in art, with the evolution of stained glass. The earliest evidence of stained glass windows being used in Britain is as far back as the 7th century. For many centuries, as most lay people couldn't read, churches used art to depict biblical stories, illustrating them in frescoes, murals, and tapestries. As a picture speaks 1,000 words, these illustrations helped convey the intended glory and often very raw power of the story in question. Stained glass was another means of doing this. By putting the ornate and elaborate imagery within the window itself, the glory of the artwork is intensified by the natural light that shines through it. Inside Moriah Chapel on Old School Road, this huge window dominates the back wall, awash with bright colours and images of flowers and geometric shapes. Plas Llansteffan also boasts a lovely large window featuring this stained glass motif, the coat of arms of a white stag on a blue shield, the family crest of Sir John Williams, who lived at Plas between 1903 and 1909. When he left, the window stayed. Llansteffan School also has an interesting window. Unveiled in 2018, the window was created to commemorate refugees that came to Llansteffan from Belgium in the First World War. The window was designed by the school children themselves and features the train that brought the refugees here, the place where they initially lived, and local children singing La Brabançon, the Belgian national anthem, to greet the refugees. Of course, there are not one but several striking windows in Llansteffan Church, 4 of which are Victorian, and the other 3 were installed post-war. Commissioned by the local Mothers' Union, this window was completed in 1953 and depicts the Book of John, chapter 20, verse 17, featuring Christ with Mary Magdalene, as well as floral and stellar patterns, and a phoenix and peacock, representing resurrection and immortality respectively. The most striking window in the church and most celebrated window in Llansteffan is the east window, located in the chancel behind the altar. The window was commissioned in 1980 and was crafted by renowned artist couple John and Gusha Petts, residents of Llansteffan. Several windows of theirs feature in churches across the country. The one here in Llansteffan is truly indelible. Unlike the other windows in the church, which depict biblical scenes and icons, this one instead is an agglomeration of symbols. The window bursts with symbolism, featuring hundreds of tiny panes of brightly coloured glass, each containing various eclectic symbols, from traditional Christian ones to ancient Celtic, Roman, Greek, Hebrew, and other various shapes, including modern symbols of industry and craft, interspersed with flowers, fruits, leaves, stars, and shells, with scallop and cockle shells serving both as symbols of pilgrimage and of Llansteffan itself. The tiny panes rain down like sanctified blood from the Holy Trinity at the very top. With the light shining through it, the east window easily captures all attention from the congregation. The most renowned and adored window associated with Llansteffan isn't actually in Llansteffan itself. The Welsh window in America is also the work of John and Cusha Petts. Of all their great works, it is easily regarded as their magnum opus. In 1963, a dreadful racially motivated terrorist attack took place in Birmingham, Alabama, when the Ku Klux Klan petrol bombed the 16th Street Baptist Church there, whilst there was a Sunday school being held. 4 young children were killed in the atrocity. News of the dreadful attack reached John and Cusha Petts here in Llansteffan. So aghast at the news, they were compelled to make this window, the funding of which, for its construction and shipment to America, was entirely paid for by fundraised donations that flooded in from all across the country. Inspired by the Bible verse of Matthew chapter 25 verse 40, it depicts the crucifixion of Christ as a black man, upon a cross formed by the stream of a fire hose. It perfectly embodies the verse in question. All these decades later, the window is still widely cherished and adored in Alabama. It became more than a window, or even a merely stunning piece of art, but a powerful symbol of pan-racial solidarity and an emblem of the American Civil Rights Movement. Though the window itself may be thousands of miles away, Llansteffan is proud that it was created right here. Who knew windows could be so interesting? If you'd like to learn more about the interesting windows and other landmarks in Llansteffan, book a Llansteffan Heritage Walk. Visit Llansteffan Heritage Walk's Facebook page for details on how to book. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more.